This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so what we discussed in our last session, we understood what is new GL accounting. Okay, can you tell me what are the topics that we discussed within new GL accounting? We discussed real-time integration of FI and CO, right? We understood segment reporting. So there is a new master data called as segment, which we can enter in the profit center, and then we can generate the reports based on the segments. Then we understood there is something called as ledger-based approach, which means we can create multiple ledgers for different kinds of accounting principles. So we can create one ledger for the one leading ledger for the GAAP reporting, and then we can create additional ledger for IFRS and all. So in ledger-based approach, maybe I'll just write some of the important things that you need to remember. Number one, 0L is the default ledger provided by SAP. Okay, number two, there can be only one leading ledger, only one leading ledger in SAP system. Number three is what are the different types of ledgers. So types of ledgers, we will talk about extension ledgers today. Yesterday we understood in ledger types there are two types. Okay, number one is standard, and number two is extension ledger. Okay, this extension ledger, they were not available in SAP ECC. This is only available starting from SAP S/4HANA. In SAP ECC, there was only one type of ledger, that is standard ledger. There was no concept of extension ledger in SAP ECC. Okay, and then one more thing that you need to be aware about is currencies. Okay, so in addition to one currency, when we created a company code, okay, if I take you to the SPRO, IMG, in financial accounting, when you go to financial accounting global settings, ledgers, ledger, and the screen, someone is using it, no problem. Oh, this is, I think, 400 clients. So let me come out of this and log in into our client, which is 800. So FINSC underscore ledger. Okay, so if I go to the leading ledger, which is provided by default 0L, and if I go for my company code, which is ABCI, okay, let's double click on this. You can see there is one company code, one currency that we already assigned to our company code, right? When we created our company code, if I take you to SPRO, IMG, okay, enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting, and company code. So when we created the company code, at that time, system asked us what would be the currency of this company code. So this is called as company code currency. Okay, this one. This is one currency which is assigned to your company code, and this is the main currency of your company code. Now, in addition to the company code currency, SAP allows to use additional currencies. Okay, so for example, if your company is in India, but your group company is in, let's say, US, so you want all your transactions to be posted in INR also and in USD also, right? In that case, you can have additional currencies in SAP system. Okay, so this is your main currency, but in addition to main currency, you can have multiple additional currencies. So anyone who worked on SAP ECC, how many currencies can I have in a company code? How many currencies can I assign to one company code? Okay, this question is very important in ECC. It is asked in the interviews. Whenever you go for the interviews, they ask you how many currencies can be assigned to our company code. In SAP ECC, it was 3. You can only assign 3 currencies in SAP ECC. But if you are using SAP S4HANA, the new thing is, if you go to this ledgers again, okay, and here you can see, if you want to add multiple currencies, there is a button to add multiple currencies here, plus add new currency. So this allows to add up to 8 currencies. So in addition to one company code currency, this is your controlling area currency, you can have up to 8 additional currencies. So just remember one thing, one is company code currency, one controlling area currency, and up to 8 additional currencies. Okay, so this question is asked in the exam. How many currencies can I assign to my company? So if they are asking you additional currencies, then you are going to answer 8. Okay, up to 8 additional currencies. So if they're asking you how many additional currencies can be assigned, you have to answer 8. But if they're asking how many currencies can be assigned, then 1 plus 1 plus 8. So total of 10 currencies. In ECC, it was total of 3. In ECC, it was one company code currency plus 2 additional currencies. We were only able to assign 3 currencies in SAP ECC, but in S4HANA, total 10, one company code, one controlling area, and up to 8 additional currencies which you can assign on your own. Okay, so these are some of the very important questions which are asked in exam on the ledgers and currencies. Just remember this. Okay, and then last thing that we discussed yesterday was document splitting. What we discussed in the document splitting? We discussed 2 types. Can you tell me what are those 2 types of document splitting? Active and passive. Active document splitting, passive document splitting. Who will give the example of active document splitting?
Invoice processing.
So during invoice, vendor or customer line item. So if you are using FB60, it would be vendor. If you are using FB70, it would be customer. So vendor or customer line item will be splitted based on what? Based on which line item?
Document line items.
What are document line items? Normally expense. In case of FB60, it is expense, and in case of customer invoice, it is revenue. Based on expense or revenue line items. Right. So in the expense line items, if you entered in the expense line item, if you entered multiple cost centers and you created multiple lines, so vendor will also get bifurcated accordingly. Okay, and what is passive? Passive's example is at the time of
payment.
At the time of payment. So during the payment, bank line item, bank cash, whatever you are using, is splitted into during payment, bank and cash line item splitted based on vendor and customer used at the time of invoice. Right? So these are the 2 types of document splitting. The last one that we have not covered yesterday, let's complete that and then we'll move to the next topic. That is called as zero balancing, zero balance clearing account. Okay, what do you mean by this now? So we understood there is active splitting which happens at the time of invoice, there is passive splitting which happens at the time of payment. Okay, but the problem is, if I'm not using invoice, if I'm not using payment, let's say if I go to the normal accounting entry, FB50, if I just go to transaction FB50, okay, and let's try to post a transaction 12/2019. Okay, our company code is ABCI. Okay, 15/12/2019. Okay, I'm taking the same GL account, 4,000, 4,000. Okay, one would be debited, second would be credited. I'm just transferring the cost from one cost center to another cost center, right? So I want to move the cost from cost center Bangalore to cost center Hyderabad. Simple example, right? What I'm doing here is I am debiting admin department of Bangalore and crediting admin department of Hyderabad, right? So 1,000 will get moved from Bangalore to Hyderabad. But in this particular case, if I look at the profit center, okay, if I press enter, system will automatically generate the profit center also. There is something wrong with the date format. Okay, keep on pressing enter. If I go to the profit center, it is still not getting derived. Let's keep on pressing enter. Yes. So if you see the profit center now, desktop is getting debited and laptop is getting credited. So after this posting, if I want to generate the balance sheet of desktop, will it tally? If I just want to generate the balance sheet for desktop profit center, my balance sheet will not tally to 0, because what is happening is this desktop is only getting debited. There is no corresponding credit entry. Okay, credit entry is for laptop. Similarly, for laptop, there is a credit entry, but there is no debit entry. See, just understand one thing. In your balance sheet, okay, what is your balance sheet? Balance sheet consists of liabilities and assets, right? Okay, and there is a total here. So let's say liabilities is AP, sundry debtors, right? Share capital. Okay, assets are, let's say, fixed assets, AR balances. Okay, and let's say retained earnings. Okay, just for example, I'm not entering any other details. Okay, so let's say share capital of 10,000, AP of 50,000, and retained earning of 20,000, or to summarize 40,000. So total is how much? 100,000. So this is liability, so I'll say minus minus minus, right? Similarly, fixed assets, let's say 70,000, and AR, let's say 30,000. So if I do the total equal to sum of all this, in that case, this needs to be 0. If my balance sheet is not 0, then there is something wrong, right? Let's say this is the balance sheet at the company level. This is a balance sheet at the company level. So ABCI's balance sheet, which includes profit center, desktop, as well as laptop. Now, if I want to create a balance sheet only for laptop division. Okay, so in that case, what will happen? I will copy this first. Okay. Now, in this particular case, if I say AP is 25,000, share capital is 5,000, and retained earning is, let's say, 15,000. Okay, and FA is, let's say, 30,000, and AR, so now I'm left with 45, let's say 10. So if I total this, if I just take the same formula here, so what is happening is, sorry, this has to be minus first. So I'm getting the balance in the balance sheet. Is it a correct process? Can I have the balance in my balance sheet? I cannot, right? I should not have any balance in the balance sheet. Otherwise, there is something wrong in the balance sheet. Now, why it is wrong is because although at the company code level, see, if you see at this posting which I'm trying to make, at the company code level, one GL is getting debited, another GL is getting credited. So the balance will become zero, right? If at the company code level, if I post this entry, what will happen is my balance will become zero because there is one debit line, one credit line. But the problem is at the profit center level, I'm just getting debited. So this line will remain open. Okay, and at the laptop level, I'm just getting credited. So this line also will get open. So my reports, if I look at the balance sheet of laptops, it will not give me the clear picture. If I look at the report of the desktop, that will also not give me the correct picture. So if I just try to copy this and enter here for desktop, okay, so whatever is remaining, so 50 minus 25 equal to 25 is okay. This is also fine. Retained earning, this should be 25, right? This one should be 25. This one is 40, and this one is 20, right? So you can see there is a balance of minus 5,000, and here the balance is of 5,000. So this two, if I look at together, then the balance is zero. If I look at laptop and desktop together, the balance is zero. But if I look at the individual report of laptop and individual report of desktop, my balance sheet is not telling. So what I need to do here is, in order to make the balance zero, I have to create one dummy account. Okay, I have to create one dummy account called as zero balancing account. What this zero balancing account will do, if there is a negative balance here, it will try to make it positive. So it will post 5,000 here. Okay, now if it is 5,000, if you try to do the summation now, okay, so if I go with equal to sum of all these things, you can see this has become zero. Similarly, if you are posting anything in zero balancing, that also needs to be cleared, right? The name itself is zero balancing. So if you are posting debit here, you have to post credit here, which is minus 5,000. So this will also get zero. So I'm not touching my normal GL accounts. My normal GL accounts are showing me the correct picture, but I'm adding another GL account called as zero balancing account, so that my profit and loss, my balance sheet at the profit center level is also getting nullified at zero. Right, this is a purpose of zero balance clearing account. So first of all, I have to create a zero balance clearing account. Let's do it. I think it is already there. Earlier in one of the session, we were getting the error and we created already. Let me just show you where exactly we created that. So if I go for FS00, okay, and in the liabilities, sorry, not in the liabilities, maybe in the assets, you can see we created one zero balance clearing account. Okay, earlier we were getting some error. So I told you as of now, let's create it. I will show you why exactly it is used later on. Okay, and this zero balance clearing account is related to document splitting itself. Okay, so we are looking at the document splitting functionality. So this zero balance clearing account needs to be defined in the configuration of document splitting. So what should I do in that case? I will go to SPRO, IMG, financial accounting, general ledger accounting, business transactions, document splitting. This is a configuration node we have seen yesterday. And there is an activity called as define zero balance clearing account. If you open this, go for the first one, which is 000, and provide the account here. So our chart of account is ABC0. You'll be able to see we already provided this account. Okay, what exactly this mean is, now when you try to post this document, okay, so we provided only two lines, one for debit, second for credit. If you try to simulate this in general ledger, okay, if you just go simulate, it will show you two lines. Yesterday we have seen what is the difference between simulation and simulation of GL. So it is showing whatever you posted. But if I come out and try to do document simulate in general ledger, not simulate. Simulate in general ledger, press enter, press another enter. You can see what system is doing is it is posting to the zero balance clearing account also. Okay, so that now if you see desktop, if you see the desktop, so one debit, one credit, so the balance is zero. Okay, where exactly the posting will go? Posting will go to the zero balance clearing account. Right? For laptop also, the balance will be zero. So my balance sheet will include this particular posting. Okay, and that will tally to zero. That is the reason this is called as zero balance clearing account. Okay, so what we need to do, the only configuration that we need to do is we have to come here in the configuration and we have to define the zero balance clearing account. Okay, is it clear now? What is zero balance clearing and why do we need it? So just remember, in case of document splitting, there are three important things that you need to know. One is active document splitting, which normally works at the time of invoice. At the time of invoice creation, based on the expenses or revenues, if you want to divide your customer or vendor line item, then system will use the active document splitting. Passive document splitting means again, this is example, at the time of payment, based on the vendor and customer line item, if you want the system to split the bank and cash line item, then it will be called as passive document splitting. And zero balance clearing account is just to make sure that the balance sheet at your profit center, at your segment level is giving you the zero balance. Okay, one more configuration that you need to do. It is not necessary that you want to have the zero balancing account. If you activate zero balancing, then only you need to perform this configuration. Okay, let me show you where exactly you can activate the zero balancing. So if you go to define document splitting characteristics, okay, this is where you have to specify. See, for business area, there is no zero balancing ticked. This means if you post any document for business area, zero balance clearing account will not come at all. It will only come when you want to bifurcate profit center and segment. Okay, is it clear now?
Yes,
Any
Vikram.
question? Anything related to today's discussion that we had?
Vikram, I have a doubt, but not in document splitting in ledger.
Sorry?
In ledger concept.
In ledger concept, yes.
Yeah. As you said, only the leading ledger will send the values to the controlling. But
Right.
yesterday in non-leading ledger, we created non-leading ledger and we posted a transaction. That 200 amount does not reflect in my controlling aspect.
Yes, definitely. So if you are posting anything in non-leading ledger, that will not go to controlling. So yesterday, whatever document we posted, what was the document number? You remember? 99, right? Starting with 99. 00001.
No, not in this company code.
What was that company code? I think we created new one, VIK2. Yes. So in this one, you can see there is no Even if I go to general ledger view, I have not provided any cost center at all, right? If you go to cost center,
Because we created it as a non-operating
non-leading.
income or expense.
Okay, even if we create it as a operative expense, let me show you. So even if you go for, if I create FS00, okay, so let me change the company code to VIK2, which is correct. And let's create another GL account. Maybe I'll try to copy this. And let's say 9. I don't know if it is already there. It's already there. Is this an expense? No, let me create one additional. Just give me a minute. Is it copied as it is? I think so. Okay, let me do this. I will go for primary cost this time, right? Control data. And here I will enter the cost element category. But the thing is, Suganya, we have not created the controlling area till now for this company code, right? VIK2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you are right, Suganya. What is your understanding is correct. Only leading ledger will send the values to CO. So if I'm posting anything in the non-leading ledger, that will not get the values to CO. It will only remain in FI.
Oh, okay, Vikram. Thank you.
Only leading ledger. Just understand one thing. Only leading ledger will send the values to CO. But again, in SAP S4HANA, if you remember, I shown you one configuration where if you want, you can send the values from the non-leading ledger also. But normally we don't do that. So if you remember, we discussed within financial accounting, ledgers, integration of CO with FI, and this is where we told the system that for whatever company code. So if I go for, I don't think there is anything for VIK because we have not created this controlling area at all. But if I go for ABCI, okay, so you can see we told the system that 0L ledger will send the values to CO version 0. We have not told the system that any other ledger will send the values to CO, and that is the reason whatever non-leading ledgers you are creating, those ledgers will not send any values to controlling.
Oh, okay, Vikram.
Okay, any questions related to any topics that we discussed till now before I go to the new topic?
Vikram, how we can create segment?
Segments you can just create from SPR, enterprise structure.
Okay.
I shown you yesterday, right? In the enterprise structure, there is a node called as create segments or define segments. This is where you can define the segment. You can create your own segments from here.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, if you want to create a test segment, okay, and this test segment is client dependent, right? It is not, you don't need to create the segments for your company code. Once it is created, it can be used for any company code. So even if I go to my profit center, any profit center, if I want to create a new one, sorry, KE51, not N, ABCI. Okay, so let's say this is test 2, enter. So here if I come and try to assign the segment that I created will appear. You can see this. Okay.
Okay, Vikram.
Okay. So now let's proceed to our other topic, which is what we will discuss today is period end activities. Okay, so now see we are done with most of the financial related transactions. Okay, so we are already done with GL postings, we are done with AP, we are done with AR, we are done with AA, that is asset accounting. Last component is bank accounting. Okay, we already understood some part of bank accounting during APP run. We understood how to create a bank, right, using SAP Fiori app. manage bank accounts and all those things we already discussed. But there are some small things that we also need to cover in the bank accounting. Number one is bank reconciliation. Okay, and apart from bank, we also need to discuss about the cash journals. Okay, what is cash journal? Cash journal is nothing but petty cash account. Okay, so in most of the companies, you have the petty cash account from where employees can go and draw the small amount for refreshment or maybe any type of expenses that they made during the travel, right? So these are some of the things that we need to discuss. Otherwise, from all the subcomponents part, we covered most of the scenarios. Okay, so we will come to this cash journal later on, maybe today possible, but otherwise in the next session. What we need to discuss now is period end closing. So every period end, every month end, there are some activities that as an end user, see, we don't have, as a consultant, we don't need to perform this activity. As an end user, every period end, there are some activities that needs to be performed. Okay, number one, although many of the activities we already discussed already. So anyone who is coming from the accounting background, can you tell me what are the activities normally you carry out every month end? Anyone who has worked on any system, it is not necessarily SAP. Every month end, if you are accountant, what are the activities that you normally do in the system? Even if you use Tally, same things will apply here also. Just think about it and write the answer, because let's keep it interactive, because otherwise it is very straightforward. If I explain, I will complete in 10 minutes. So I want to hear from you, what are the activities that you perform?
In every month, we have posted adjustment entries for reconciliation of the books like general ledger and comparison of AP subledgers.
See, you need to book the adjustments only when there are reconciliation issues. But now we are talking about SAP new GL accounting. We are talking about SAP S/4HANA. So adjustments to post the reconciliations are no more required. Okay, maybe in any other system, yes. If you are using any other systems where there are reconciliation issues, you can post those documents. But in SAP, we don't need to do any kind of adjustments to do the reconciliation. But yes, auditors adjustments or management related adjustments, right? So management related adjustments means what? Management will tell you debit this GL account and credit this GL account, right? So you can easily do using which transaction in SAP? If you just want to post a normal accounting entry, whatever is recommended by your management, so which transaction code you will use?
FB50.
FB50, right? You need to debit something, you need to credit something. Okay, only thing is what needs to be posted, that needs to be recognized from the management. Okay, yes, so adjustment postings. What else?
Balance carry forward. If there is a posting on stop PC and stop trading partner, we have to post on the successor of their PC and trading partner.
Sorry, can you come again?
If there is a posting on stop profit center and trading partner, so we have to post on the successor.
Not able to get you clearly. Can you come once again slowly? What exactly you are saying?
If there are posting on stopped profit center and trading partner, so we have to move this posting on their successor.
Okay, so that is also the adjustment posting, right?
Yes.
That you can do with the adjustment. If you want to move the cost from one profit center to another profit center or from one GL to another GL, that is a normal adjustment that you can do through FB50, right? Yeah. Okay. Someone told balance carry forward. Yes, we need to carry forward the balances from the last month to the previous month. Sorry, from the previous month to the next month. But normally this balance carry forward in SAP is required only during year end. We don't need to perform the balance carry forward every month end. This is the year end activity which needs to be done once in a year. Okay, so that, yes, definitely we need to discuss this also. What is balance carry forward and how to do that activity? What else?
Creditor invoices, debtor invoices.
Yeah, what you will do to the invoices? We already posted the invoice during the month, right? So what are we going to do?
Any tax related activity becomes like GST, TDS.
Paying taxes, right? Or tax return filing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Bank reconciliation.
Bank reconciliation, yes. Bank reconciliation is, according to SAP, it is not a periodic activity. It should be done at least every week. Okay, so it is not month end or year-end activity. This should be done every weekly or even in some of the cases daily. So yes, it is a part of periodic activity, but normally it is followed most of the industries on the daily basis. But yes, that is a good point. What else? Sorry, your voice is not clear. Anything else that you remember? Think from the sub-module point of view. What are the activities that we need to do from the GL point of view? We talked about the management adjustments, right? Okay, from the GL point of view, we also do accruals and deferrals, right?
Yes.
Okay, so from GL point of view, we do the normal adjustments, we do the accruals and deferrals. From the AP point of view, is there any activity that we need to carry out every month end? Normally not. AP and AR, normally not. We just need to do the balance carry forward at the end of the year. Okay, otherwise from AP and AR, maybe if you are able to remember any particular activity, you can tell me. One activity which you may find in the certification books, which is related to AP and AR, is correspondence. Okay, what is correspondence? Correspondence means sending the list of open invoices to the customers and vendors for the balance confirmation. Instead of correspondence, we can call it the balance confirmation. So just a reminder to the customer every month end that this is a balance that you need to pay to us. Similarly to the vendor, that this is a balance that we need to pay to you. So that just for the clarification purpose. Okay. Apart from AP and AR, anything that you need to perform in asset accounting every month end?
Depreciation.
Definitely. Depreciation is also periodic activity that you need to do every month end. Even in asset accounting, you need to perform the year-end closing. Year-end closing activity in asset accounting related to asset accounting. What else? If you remember anything which you generating the reports, generating balance sheet, profit and
Trial
loss.
balance.
Yes, trial balance. Okay, so all these things you carry out in the month end. And lastly, once you are done with all of these things, you will close the period, right? So you will not allow to make any postings in the previous period. Also, one of the very important activities is foreign currency valuation. Okay, I'll give the example of foreign currency valuation. Don't worry as of now. For foreign currency valuation, you also need to maintain the exchange rates in the system. Okay, so these are some of the activities that we need to carry out at the month end or the year end for the period end accounting. Okay, let's now go through them one by one. Okay, let's try to understand how these activities will be carried out in the system. So first of all, management adjustments, I don't need to do any explanation on this. You know, FB50 transaction will allow you to post any entry. You can do one GL account as debit or multiple GL accounts as debit, multiple GL accounts as credit, whatever cost center, profit center, segments you want to adjust, you can do it very easily through FB50. Second is balance carry forward. Okay, balance carry forward means whatever was the closing balance of the previous month. There is some background noise, please mute yourself. Okay, and just give me 1 minute. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay. Yes. So I was talking about the balance carry forward. Okay. So this is an activity that you need to carry out every year end so that whatever is the balance in the balance sheet account is carried forwarded to the next year. And can you tell me what will happen to the profit and loss accounts? Balance of profit and loss accounts will move to balance of profit center will move to I thought you will all answer this.
Retained earning.
Retained earning, right? We discussed this. We created the retained earning account so that whatever is the balance in the profit and loss account that will move to the retained earning account at the month end. Sorry, at the year end. So, in order to execute the balance carry forward program, in ECC there was a separate program for AP, for AR, for GL, for asset accounting. There were 4 separate programs in SAP ECC. Okay, in SAP S/4HANA, there is only a single program which will do all the 4 activities at once. Let me show you. We already executed this if you remember in asset accounting. So you'll go to financial accounting for every module. Let's say for general ledger, if you go to periodic processing, in periodic processing, if you go to closing, you'll be able to see carrying forward. Okay, so this is nothing but balance carry forward. So you can see this transaction FA, GL, GVTR. Okay, this will single program, this balance carry forward single program will do the carry forward for GL, for AP, for AR, and for asset accounting. In ECC, if you want to know what was the corresponding transaction code in ECC, if you just follow the same path, maybe if you want, I can, let's do one thing. I will try to open another server. Just give me a minute. I'll open the ECC system so that if by chance you got to work on SAP ECC projects, you should be aware about this. Just give me a minute. I'm connecting to another server. Okay, please let me know if you are able to see my screen now. Can you see the server?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay, I'm logging into SAP ECC. This is SAP ECC system. This is not S/4HANA. So again, if I go to accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, periodic processing. Okay, here if I go for, sorry, where is that? Closing. Closing. Okay, within closing, carrying forward. If you see that transaction code is F.16. F.16 is to carry forward the balances of GL. Right, so if you want to perform the balance carry forward for GL, you will execute F.16, and you can see there is FAGL GVTR also. So if you are using new GL accounting in SAP ECC, you can use this new transaction. Okay, but now there is no more old transaction available. The only option is FAGL GVTR. Similarly, if you see for AP, so first is GL. If I close this completely, go to AR. In AR also, if I go for periodic processing, closing, carrying forward, so there is F.07 for AP and AR. Okay, so same way, if I go for AP, so again periodic processing, closing, carrying forward, you can see F.07 is used for AP and AR both, right? And then finally, if I go to asset accounting, periodic processing, year-end closing, or before that, there is balance carry forward here itself. Normally we use this transaction AJRW to perform the balance carry forward. Okay, so this is SAP ECC system. If I try to show you the same thing in SAP S/4HANA now, so I will open the 1809 in this system itself. Okay, so here if you go to the same path, if I go to accounting, financial accounting, general ledger, periodic processing, closing, carrying forward, you can see FAGL GVTR. This is for GL. Let's see for AP and AR. So again, periodic processing, closing, carrying forward. You can still see this one, but there is no need of this. So maybe they are not updated this one. But if you just execute FAGL GVTR, then there is no need to perform this execution separately. Okay, so one single transaction. If you go to asset accounting, they made that change. So if you go to fixed assets, periodic processing, fiscal year change, you can see AJRW is not available here. Okay, in ECC system, we were able to see AJRW. Okay, in S/4HANA, we are not able to see AJRW. Instead, we are able to see FAGL GVTR. Right, so just remember that in SAP S/4HANA, there is a single transaction to execute the balance carry forward. And how are you going to do it? Just double click on this, provide your company code, and provide to which year, the next year, right? Carry forward 2. 2 means what is the next year. So whatever is the balance of the current year, that will be migrated to the new year. All the balances of the balance sheet accounts will be migrated as it is. All the balances of the profit and loss account will be migrated to the retained earning account. Okay, let's try to execute this for our company code. You will get an idea what exactly is getting transferred. So our company code is ABCI. Okay, and we want to carry forward it to year 2020. Okay, I'll do the test run first. Let's try to execute it. Okay, so there are total 44 GL accounts. Okay, let's see the details of the balance sheet accounts. So it is showing you how much balance will be transferred. So AP domestic, there is a balance of 106250, which will be migrated. Bank balance is 61800. Again, bank balance is, there is another bank balance in the same GL account. Hardware, Citibank, you can see these are the total balances of balance sheet which will be transferred as it is to the same GL account in 2020. On the other hand, if I want to see for the profit and loss accounts, so it is going to the retained earning accounts. Just open this. You can see total of this much amount will be transferred to retained earning account. Okay, maybe if you want to double click, let's see if that information is provided. It is not provided. If I want to see how these calculations are made, I can simply go to the list of all the profit and loss accounts. So let's do that to verify. So if I go to FPL3N and I want to see all the profit and loss accounts. So starting from 3000 to 4999, these are all my profit and loss accounts, all items, and execute. Let's see what is the total balance. It is 579,600. Is it correct? 578,000. It is saying something wrong. Maybe some 1 or 2 GL accounts are not properly mapped, maybe because of that reason. Or even, I think this information what I'm getting, this is for all the ledgers. No, this is only for 0L. Okay, there is something wrong, but normally you will be able to see the same balance. Whatever balance is available in the profit and loss accounts, you'll be able to see it has been migrated to the retained earning account. Let me just verify if there is any error that we are getting. Display messages. There is no error. Yes. So yes, this is how the balance carry forward is done in case of AP, AR, GL, and asset accounting. So going forward, we are going to use the single GL account, that is balance carry forward, FHGL GVTR. So before this balance carry forward, if you go and see any of your report, if I go for FS10N for example, okay, and if I provide all GL accounts, so 1000 to 2999. Okay, let's try to execute this. There is no data found for fiscal year 2020. Okay, why it is saying that? Because there is no lines which are posted in year 2020 till now. There is nothing posted in 2020. Okay, let's try to post one accounting document first. So if I go to FB50, obviously I need to open 2020. So we are using April to March. So our 2020 will begin from 01/04/2020. So if the period is open, it will allow. If the period is not open, we need to open this period. 01/01/2020. Enter. Let's see if we are getting any error. Okay, so period is open. There is no problem. So I want to post in 4000 and 2000, which is my bank account. Okay, so this is going to be debited and this is going to be credited. 1000. Okay, and whatever is the mandatory information. So I'll enter the cost center here. If I do F4, enter, and I will use this Bangalore. Value date is mandatory, so 01/04/2020. Okay, let's try to save it now. Okay, so now we posted at least something in 2020. So now if I try to execute this report, it will show me the results. Something wrong. Okay, let's try to see only for one GL, which is account number 2000, which is a bank account. Let me just go out and come in. FS10N. Okay, so it is recommending to use this transaction, but we can use this also. Something wrong. Why it is not allowing us? Let's see the GL account document that we posted. So document display. No, it is not created properly. Something wrong. FP03. Enter. Now it is appearing. No, this is different. Posting date is 1/1. We need to have 1/4, right? Let's try to do it once again. Zero 01/04/2020. Here also 01/04. Yeah, I think last time we entered the wrong date. Debit, credit. Value date would be 01/04/2020, and cost center would be this one. Okay, so now posting date is fine. Let's try to, you can see our substitutions are working here. Document header text and line text both are working. Try to save it. Is it posted? Yes, it is posted now. So this is a document which just got posted. So now I should be able to see the value. Yes, you can see the value. Okay, but as of now you can see balance carry forward is blank. Why? Because we are still not carried forward the balances from 2019 to 2020. We just done the test run, right? If I want to know what is the closing balance of 2019, let's try to execute this. See, the closing balance of 2019 for this particular GL account is 578,080, right? So this should appear in 2020 year here. That will only appear when I complete this balance carry forward process. So I'll go for balance carry forward. Okay, remove the test run. So I'm transferring the balance to 2020. Okay, let's try to execute this now. Okay, so this completes the balance carry forward. New balance is carried forwarded. So if I now try to generate this report for 2020, I should be able to see the opening balances. You can see this. So balance carried forward has been performed now. So this was the balance carried forward from the last year. This is what is posted in the current year, and that is the reason this is a cumulative balance. Okay, this is why balance carried for doing the balance carry forward is important activity, and you can do it multiple times. Let's say after balance carry forward, again if you posted anything in 2019, so it will not appear directly here. It will not appear automatically here. You have to come here and you have to execute the balance carried forward once again. Is it clear now? Any question on what is balance carrying forward? Okay, same way if you want to see the balance in the retained earning. Okay, if you try to see for 4,000 for example, it will not show you anything. It is just showing you the posting. Nothing has been balance carried forward. Why? Because it is a profit and loss account. So for profit and loss account, everything will be under retained earnings. So retained earning 1 and retained earning 2. You can see this has been transferred. Okay, so this was about balance carry forward. Let's go again back to our system. So any question in this one now? What is balance carried forward?
No, Vikram. Clear.
Okay. Next thing is tax return filing, which we already discussed that day, and I told you normally this tax return filing is not done in SAP. In SAP, you just make one posting that the amount has been posted, but otherwise you can generate that report. Okay, I shown you one report, advance return on tax filing, which will tell you how much tax has been calculated, what was the tax code, how much tax was calculated. Otherwise, the filing and all, normally each and every government has their own template of doing the report. So normally they use the softwares which are provided by the tax authorities itself, because they need to upload the file into that, and they need to file is used on the based on the template that they provide from the government. Okay, so in SAP you just need to make sure that you made the posting which tells the system that the tax has been paid. That's it. You don't need to do anything else in the tax return filing from SAP point of view. Bank reconciliation we are going to discuss in detail, so as of now I'm skipping this. Balance confirmation is a report which can be generated from the system. Okay, but this is a manual activity that you have to carry out. Let me show you how exactly it works. So let me again log into 800 client. Okay, so balance carry forward. How to generate a balance carry forward? Whenever you are looking at a particular report, let's say FBL1N, I want to know the balances of this particular vendor. Okay, so vendor account, maybe in my case, we have the vendor as Tata for our company code, which is ABCI. Okay, so if I want to generate the balance carry forward for, balance confirmation for this particular vendor, I can generate the report. And from here itself, if I go to environment, correspondence, request. Okay, I want to generate the request for account statement for this vendor. Okay, so which lines you want to consider? I want to consider the postings in the current year or maybe the current month. So 1/12/2019 to 31/12/2019. So whatever postings we have made, we want to send this list to the vendor. So account statement was requested. Next is, again you go to environment, correspondence, and click on display. So whatever you requested just now, that will become available. So if you go for LP01, okay, you can see this is a statement which you can send to your customer. So it is telling all those invoices which are posted in this current year. So starting from 1/12, what was the total balance? There was no balance on 1st of December. There are 2 lines which are posted in this month, and the final balance is this much. So like this, you have to generate the balance confirmation reports for every vendor, which is not practically possible to do it one by one. So normally we schedule a job. We ask our basis team we just provide them one sample, and then they create a batch job, which means automatically the files for every vendor will be created, and that would be shared with as a mail through to the vendor, also to the customer. So similar to FBL1N, you can go for FBL5N. Okay, and here instead of vendor, you can enter the customer. So if I want to see the report for a particular customer, let's say Amazon. Okay, and if I just want to generate the correspondence means any kind of letter that you want to send to the customer or vendor. So again, account statement. Here you will enter the postings from and posting to. So 01, 12/2019 to 31st/12/2019. Continue. Once request has been generated, you can again go to correspondence and do the display. So this will again generate the PDF file, which will tell how many invoices are created for this particular customer and what is the total balance. Okay, this is called as correspondence. So just remember, there are two steps in correspondence: you request and you print. Request display or request print. Just remember, this activity of balance confirmation is done through correspondence. And there are two steps in correspondence. Number one is request. Number two is display or print. Okay. This is about the balance confirmation. So these two topics we skipped as of now. We will come to this topic. Depreciation you already know. We already executed the depreciation at the month end during the asset accounting postings. Year-end closing related to AA also we discussed. If you remember, we were not able to make any postings in asset accounting, so we carried out the fiscal year end for 2018 so that we can post in 2019. So we executed two transactions, AJAB and FAGL GVTR, right? So this activity you already know. I will come to this last one. Before that, closing the period, you also know how to do that. How you do that? Using transaction OB52. Right? So if you go to transaction OB52, from there you can open and close a particular period. So if I go to OB52, whatever posting period variant we assign to our company code, I think ABCI itself. So here we told the system that our postings are open from first period of 2019 to 12th period of 2020, and that is the reason system allowed us to post in 2020, because 2020 is completely open. So if you want to block, let's say I want to block all the previous postings, so I want to allow only postings till 9th month of 2019, which is December. I want to block all the postings before December 2019. So I'll say starting from the 10th month of 2019 to 12th month of 2020. So which means now system will not allow me to post anything in the month of December. Once I made this check, once I close this books for December, I'll not be able to post anything in the December. Let's try. So if I go for AP50 and if I just write 15/12/2019, press enter, here itself system will throw me error. Posting period 9 is not open, because posting period is open from the 10th month, which is Jan of 2020. Right? So this one we already discussed in detail. OB52, sorry. So this means now we are left with bank reco, accrual deferral, balance sheet, and foreign currency valuation. So let's see it one by one. We will first see simple thing, which is generating the balance sheet and generating the profit and loss. Just remember one single transaction for this. Single transaction to generate the financial statements is F.01. F.01 is the transaction to generate the financial statement. Okay, so financial statement, enter your chart of account or enter your company code. So I want to generate the report for ABCI. Okay, if you want to generate for a particular business area or for a particular ledger, if you remember, I told you you can generate your profit and loss statements, balance sheet statements for IFRS separately, for GAAP separately, right? If you have multiple ledgers, you can provide your ledger here and system will generate the report according to different accounting principles. Okay, and then if you just come down, this is where this is an important thing, financial statement version. Okay, what is financial statement version? So first I will show you the standard one, BAIN. This is a standard delivered financial statement version for India. Okay, just use this, and you have to specify you want to generate the financial statement for which period. So I want to generate from 2019, and I want to compare the results with 2018. Although we don't have anything in 2018, but it will just compare. Okay, and just come down, and I prefer to use, okay, you can try all these three, classical list, ALV grid. It is just the output, how exactly the output will look like. So I prefer this ALV grid. Okay, and click on execute. Enter. So it should show you the report. Why it is not showing any report? Let's go back. Company code ABCI, ledger, it is by default taking 0L. 19 period from 1 to 16. It should show. Spatial evaluations, if there is anything, no need to worry. Is there any error that we are getting or something? Execute. Just try once again. F.01 for ABCI. Maybe let me enter the GLs from 1 to 9999, whatever it allows, and enter. No list generated. So maybe the problem is with the financial statement version that we are using. Okay, so we are using BAIN. Let's try to use anything else. Maybe someone has changed the version. Okay, let's use anyone. Let's use for China and see if anything comes. No. Why? Why there are no postings in? Are we using correct client? See, the client is problem is the client. Let's log off. So F.01 ABCI. Okay, and here, as I told you, BAIN for India. And let's go for ALV grid control and execute this. Enter. So you can see it is giving you the complete trial balance. Okay, it is showing you the balance of all the GL accounts. So for AP domestic, this is a balance, and this is a balance of the current year, and this is a comparative balance, which means for 2018. And since there is nothing, everything is zero, this is the difference. Okay, now in this one, this is a trial balance, right? This is just a list of GL accounts. Now, if you want to divide them into balance sheet, profit and loss, then what you need to do is you need to create the financial statement version. Okay, it totally depends upon customers' requirement, how they want to see the balance sheet and profit and loss. So instead of BAIN, let me see if there is any other financial statement version available. Okay, let's go with this one. Someone has created. And even here also, what I'll do is I will go with tree control. Okay, so not assigned account, everything is not assigned. That is the reason we are getting the issue. Okay, so simply let me show you one thing. If you want to generate your report into separately profit and loss and balance sheet. So in balance sheet, which GL accounts you want to see, and in profit and loss, which accounts you want to see. So what I'll do is simply we will go to one configuration in SPRO, IMG, financial accounting, global settings. Okay, maybe we will take this last topic of a day. Maybe you are already tired with a lot of activities today, but let's try to understand this very clearly, because this is very important. Whenever you will be working on the project, you have to create the financial statement versions based on the requirements of the customer. So let me know if you are able to see something called as create financial statement version. So I think it is in the master data, general ledger, master data, GL accounts, and this one, define financial statement versions. Okay, I'm creating a new entry for my company code, which is ABCI. Language would be English. Okay, chart of account would be ABC0. Okay, and then I will go to the financial statement items. Data was changed, whether you want to save, I'll say yes. Okay, and as of now, you can see these are the pre-delivered groups which are delivered by SAP. If you don't want any particular group, just click on delete. It contains some items. If there are already some items, then it cannot be deleted. Let's go for PL result. Okay, let's forget about the standard delivered. What we will do is, there is asset, there is liability, and there is P&L. So we will group all the asset GL accounts into assets. So what I'll do is click on this assets, click on assign accounts, and provide the list of all the asset accounts here. So our asset accounts are starting from 2000 to 2999. So all these GL accounts will appear in asset. Specify debit or credit indicator. So normally assets are debit. Enter. So all the GL accounts will come under this group, assets account. Again, if I go for liabilities, assign the accounts, my liabilities are starting from 1000 to 1999, and liabilities are normally credit entries. Okay, so these are my liabilities, will appear in liability section. Then my profit and loss accounts, which are starting from, it is not allowing. Okay, so maybe some problem. We will create our own. So create an item under this node. What item I want to create? I want to create, let's say, expenses separately, and I want to create revenues separately. Under the expenses node, I will assign in all the GL accounts starting from 4000 to 4999. Okay, and expenses are normally debit. Same way, under revenues, I will assign the accounts which are 3000 to 3999. Okay, which are normally credit entries. Save it. Our financial statement version is now ready. So if I go to transaction F.01, okay, and chart of account or maybe company code ABCI, what I will do this time is I will provide my financial statement version. Okay, and if I go for tree control, it will clearly show me 4 different nodes. Okay, so you can see now it is grouped. So within expenses, I'm able to see the expenses. Within revenues, I'm able to see the revenues. And what are the others? Why it is showing ABC2? Just give me a minute. These ones we are not created. These are calculations. Where are assets and liabilities? We should be able to see the assets and liabilities also.
Yeah, I think we haven't given the name.
Sorry?
We haven't provided the name for asset or balance sheet.
So it is coming by default, right? So maybe these are the assets. Yes, they are appearing. Not exactly. Just give me a minute. Something wrong. Let's go to the financial statement version once again. So 40029, this is fine. We provided this is a name already available, right? Liabilities and equities. So this should appear. Maybe this were the standard notes. What I'll do is, let's delete this node. Okay, let's delete this node also. We will create our own instead of using the standard one. So I will create 2 more items under this node. So first one I'll create is assets, and second one I'll create is liabilities. So in short, don't use the standard provided, you create your own as you want. Okay, now within assets, I will assign 200 to 2999 with debit indicator. Okay, and within liabilities, I will assign 1000 to 1999 as a credit indicator. Okay, and try to save this. Yes. Let's go back to this one. Let's try to execute once again. Okay, so now if you see, you should be able to see assets and liabilities. Yes, now we are able to see the assets, liabilities, expenses, revenues. All 4 are appearing. Right? So it is up to you. We created it very simple, right? Within assets also, if you don't want to segregate all these things, within assets also, if you want the current assets, fixed assets, again within current assets, you want to keep it as AR separately. All those hierarchy you can define as per your requirement. Okay, so what you need to do is just go to this group, just like a cost center group that we created earlier. So within assets, I don't want to assign all the GL accounts in one node. I want to divide the asset into 2 parts first. Current assets, fixed assets. So it is completely flexible. It totally depends upon you, what is your requirement. Okay, so current assets, I will select the account which are related to the current assets. So I will do F4 and I will provide the accounts which are related to current assets. So bank is my current asset, sundry debtors is my current asset, advances to supplier, zero balancing, banks. So up to 2009, these are all my current assets, right? But starting from 2010, these are all related to assets, fixed assets, up to 2015. Then there are tax. 2016 and 17 are related to tax. So what I can do is, starting from 2000 to 2009, these are my current assets. Debit, save. Fixed assets, assign accounts starting from 2010 to 2015 are my fixed assets. And then I'll create one more, which is tax. Input tax is what? Input tax is tax receivable, because I need to collect it from the government. So tax receivable, the GL accounts would be 2016 to 2017. So whenever you are adding any new GL account, you have to make sure that this is assigned to the financial statement versions. Normally, when you are working on the project, your client will raise a ticket. He will say, I created a new GL account last month, but it is not appearing in my balance sheet. It is not appearing in my profit and loss. So what you need to do is, you have to ask him which financial statement version he is using. Right? You have to ask him which financial statement version he is using. You have to go to that financial statement version and you have to verify whether that new GL account has been added in this financial statement version or not. If not added, you will ask him under which node you want to add that GL account, whether in the current assets or fixed assets or liabilities or expenses. So he will provide you that information. You just have to go, and according to his requirements, you have to add that particular GL in the correct node. Okay, so let's try to execute it now. Now I should be able to see various different groupings in the asset. You can see within assets, I can see current assets and fixed assets. I'm not able to see tax receivables. Maybe there is no posting. We already paid last time, right? The balance was 0 in the input tax. That is the reason it is not appearing. If you want to see the zero balance accounts also, then I think there is one more tick where you can tell the system that even if the balance is 0, I want to see that GL account. So that one you will be able to see, I think, in the output control. It is not showing here, but somewhere it asks you whether you want to show the 0 lines. Normally those are not required, but there is an option for that also. So even if there is 0 balance in that GL account, but still that GL account will be appearing in your report. Okay, is it clear now how to generate the financial statements using transaction F.01? You can create your own financial statement version. You can create a separate financial statement version for balance sheet and for profit and loss. That is also fine. So if you just want to see the balance sheet, you can come here and you can create a financial statement version separately for balance sheet. Similarly, separately for profit and loss. Okay, any questions till now?
Vikram, normally these financial statement versions, all activities run by end user or a consultant?
No, financial statements are executed by the end users, but as I told
Okay.
you, what you will get is, as a consultant, that user has generated the financial statement, but he is not able to see a particular GL. Or maybe sometimes, even if a financial statement version is already available and it is showing you all the details, but sometimes user can come and tell you that I want to add a new group in the financial statement. Okay, with these GLs. So you have to go to the financial statement version and you have to change the groupings there.
Okay.
If you are working in the new implementation project, so in new implementation project, you have to ask the business users how they want to see their financial statement, and you have to create the financial statement version from scratch. Just now, what exactly we have done, we have created from scratch, right? So one is
Yeah.
making the changes, second is creating from scratch. So you have to ask the structure from the business. You will not decide on the structure. Structure has to come from the business, like how many groups they want to see, which GLs they want to see in which group. That information must come from the business itself.
Got it, Vikram.
Okay, so now we are only left with few topics. So although we were planning to complete everything by today, but seems it is not possible. There are a lot of still maybe 3, 4, at least 3 sessions I think will be required. And even if it is requiring more, I don't have any problem. You also should not have problem, because make sure that you are getting whatever you wanted. Don't rush to try to complete the course. Okay, so I'm not sure, because why I cancelled the weekday session was there was very less attendance, and I don't wanted to just complete the topics without the attendance, and that is the reason I dropped the idea of the sessions on weekdays. So anyways, what I recommend you now is, there maybe 1 or 2 things before we close, is just give me a minute. Let me share my screen in which we can see what exactly is remaining as of now. So if I go for, yeah, these are the list of topics, right, which I sent you last time. So what I am planning here is, we covered settlement of AUC, validation, substitution. We covered text postings, new GL concept, ledger, and document splitting also we completed today. Financial closing, we started. We carried out some of the activities, but we are still left with maybe bank reconciliation and all. This is one topic. Overview to SAP product costing and COPA. SAP Activate we already completed with Fiori. So effectively, we need 1 or 2 sessions to complete the remaining part of financial closing. Okay, I think 1 session should be enough. Next Saturday should be enough. What I'm planning is it fine with you if I share the videos for overview of product costing and COPA? Anyways, we are not going to see this topic in the system, because if you go through this is a COPA and product costing, which requires, if you want to understand this completely, it is a CO, which will take 40 to 50 hours. So we just want to see the overview. Okay, as a fresher, nobody expects from you that you need the product costing and COPA. Okay, so you just need an overview. So I already have a very good video. Maybe many of you have already seen on my YouTube channel. Okay, so I can also share that video once again with you. You can go through what is product costing, why it is required, and all those things. COPA, I can prepare one video in this week, and I can share. If you come prepared in the next session for whatever doubts you have, we will try to answer those questions. And for this also, I have very good 2 videos which are available on YouTube. Okay, integration of procurement and sales with FI. So I can share this 3 videos with you, 4 videos actually, 3 as immediately I'll share with you: product costing, procurement, and sales. Then we'll be left with only to complete this topic, which we can easily complete in 1 session in the coming weekend. So Saturday we can continue with the session. We will complete this part. Okay, and for this 4, as I told you, I can share the videos with you. Just go through the videos. If you have any questions, we will definitely discuss on those questions, okay, in the coming session. Okay, so at least we will not need additional Saturday, Sunday to spend on this very basic topics. Okay, whatever is important, whichever needs to be covered in the system, we will definitely cover practically in the coming Saturday, on the coming Saturday. Okay, so what I will do is this week's 2 sessions, yesterday whatever we discussed, today whatever we discussed, and I will send you 3 to 4 links of YouTube where you can go through these topics. Okay, and after going through these 4 videos, if you have any questions, we will discuss in the coming Saturday and Sunday also. If we require to have a session for questions and answers, we will have one session on Q&A. After that, I will give you 2 weeks of time to go through all the processes, whatever we have discussed in the course, and there will be 2 more sessions on questions and answers. Okay, so you will get a break of 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you need to come again. Whatever questions came whenever you started practicing in the system, also start preparing for the certification exam if you are planning to write the certification exam. So those things we'll be doing post to the next week. Okay, so 2 weeks you will get, and you can do the practice and prepare for the certification exam.
Vikram,
Yes.
apart from these topics, so I have shared some of the topics, so
Yes.
which
So
are
I think
not.
yes. I think those topics will be covered in the coming session. Let me just give me a minute. If you have those list of topics with you, otherwise let me open, because
Yeah,
most of the topics that you have written, those are part of this. Only cash journal and 1 or 2 few topics which are seen, which are not in this list, but otherwise most of the
uh,
topics are in this.
yes, Vikram. Majorly, one of the topic is LSMW, Legacy
Okay,
System Management. Another one is EBS, Electronic Bank Statement. That will
that
be
is this one,
covered by,
banking.
yeah, yes. Another one is, what is that one? Sort key and open item management. It's
That
what
will
is the
be
purpose
that
of
will be
use?
also, yeah, that will be also covered in this. So next week,
Okay,
the session that we have, period and activity covers sort key, open item management, your bank reconciliation. Some of the topics will be covered here. So let's do one thing, Shiva. Let's complete the next session and then we will review
Okay.
what are we left with.
Okay, Vikram.
Yeah, because most of the topics I know will be covered in the coming session. Those are very
Yeah.
small topics. It will not take much time.
Yeah. Vikram, Vikram, one more thing. After the class, so I will contact for Krishna for server access.
Yes, you can directly contact him.
Vikram, and one more thing. Yesterday, we got one error, that's tolerance regarding about tolerance settings for vendors and customers. So it's working fine
No,
now, Vikram, in my company.
no, I have not tried. Sorry, I'll do it today. Otherwise, just give me the call after the session. We will try to solve it together once your server access is
Yeah.
available.
Yeah. Okay, Vikram. Thank you, Vikram.
One more topic is that in asset, there's a transfer of asset is pending, I think.
Transfer of asset. Yes, okay, we will do that. So that is the reason I told you. If you think there is any topic, you just let me know. We will talk about transfer of asset. Okay, so even now, just go through all of you. This is not only for Shiva and Suganya. Whatever topic you think that it is important, which we forgot or we are not covered, just send me the list so that we can verify that everything has been covered. Okay, so I given the focus on those topics which are important, which are asked in the interviews, which are asked in the exam. But there's some topics like open item management, sort key, transfers. These are normally not that much relevant in case of interviews and in case of exams. But yes, if we have time, we will definitely discuss about those topics also. Okay, then, so I'm closing this session today and we will be meeting on next Saturday. Also, I hope you gone through the LTMC video which I shared with you. Okay, just give me a minute. I am not sure whether I shared that video on mail or not, but whoever has joined my YouTube channel, at least you should be able to go through those LTMC videos. Do you want me to send that link today? I'll send that link, no problem. The LTMC link also I'll share. Okay, any other thing before we close? Okay, if not, thank you all and see you on Saturday. Bye.
Okay. Bye, Vikram.